So, starting from the beginning,
Mhm.
Austria chose you as its Eurovision representative through
Mhm.
internal selection.
Yeah.
How did this opportunity come about?
So it came about after we wrote the song in the studio in Berlin in August, and then Taya, who was in the studio, she said, "Guys, you don't understand. This is a Eurovision song, a top five Eurovision song," and so then we handed it in to the ORF, and we had to do the same process as everyone else did. So then they selected five songs that came to the broadcaster to do an audition. We had an audition, and then we had to just wait until December when they gave me the call that I'm gonna represent Austria.
Wasted Love is not only the Eurovision Song winner, but it also your debut as an artist. Why did you choose this song and not any other?
Yeah, because I in my musical friend group, I'm the only one who didn't release music yet, so I wanted to wait for the right moment to put my art form out into the public, because for me it was always to find a good balance of pop and opera, because that's what I wanted to do. And so then it took a while until we found when I found the idea, and that was the first time I was also in the studio to record ever. And so after we recorded the song, we felt ready, and we thought that this song would work very well, and that's why we handed it in.
And where did you find the inspiration to write Wasted Love?
It was about my personal experience. I had a very rough year. I went through a bad separation in the situationship that I had, and I had too much love to give, and then nothing came back. And I thought, maybe if I put more, something will come back, but nothing did. And that's why the song is called Wasted Love. And so I just wanted to talk about that experience in the song, because to help other people come out of their situation if they had something like that.
As you mentioned, you define your music style as a pop era.
Yeah.
Talk me about this concept.
Yeah, the concept of popera has been already around a few times, but not really as big. And so I thought I wanted to, do something different that's not been heard before, but something that I like to do. And so I decided to incorporate both of the musical worlds that I grew up with, which were pop and opera, and just to find a good balance. And now through Eurovision, I've realized that a lot of people really like popera, and so I'm very, very glad about that.
Yeah, in this sense, Nemo won Eurovision last year with The Code.
Yeah.
Why do you think two songs with classical and modern elements have won the contest 2 years in a row?
Yeah, like around this time, there's a huge demand behind people, especially like male written people that have a high singing voice. There's a big fascination behind it. And so I think it works really well right now anywhere. And I was very honored that, in the beginning people were comparing me to Nemo, because who doesn't want to be compared to a Eurovision winner, And so it was a huge honor, but we do have differences. So like my song is more a classical song, whereas Nemo's song is a more like, it has classical elements and mixed with rap and pop. And mine is like, classical pop with techno, so it's already very different.
Yeah, it is. Many artists go to Eurovision with a previous discography, but you debuted in the festival.
Yeah.
Does it feel overwhelming to start your career from such a high point?
No, it's actually so it's such an honor, because I already had a lot of experience in the opera house in Vienna, the Vienna State Opera, so I already built up my name in the classical field, so it wasn't really new to me to sing new stuff, because in the opera I always learned new roles to play, so that it was pretty much the same but in a different way. And I'm very glad that my debut single was celebrated so well across Europe, and I'm looking forward to making new music in the same style.
What was it like working with Sergio Jaén from the first idea to the final result?
It was amazing. So I remembered Sergio staging for Bambi Thug, because it's just stayed in my head. And Taya and I were thinking, who could we work with? So then we decided to ask Sergio if he wanted to work on the staging for the song, and it was such an amazing feeling to see that he was so passionate and so interested. And then he made a full PowerPoint presentation on how he wanted the cameras to be, how he wanted the staging to look like. And then he also took Borja Loeda, who helped me with a little bit of the movements on stage to make it look more elegant. And so it was a great feeling that everyone was so invested in this entire thing.
And did you made some ideas also for the staging? Oh.
Yeah, so after we had this idea already in our head, and when we sent it to Sergio, the song, after he listened to it, he did exactly the same presentation how we imagined it to be. And so we fell in love with it. It was a perfect, it worked well. It worked really, really well. And so that's why we had to work with Sergio.
Eurovision is about lights and big stages.
Yeah.
But how did you experience the festival from the inside? Have you made friends there?
Yeah, I've made friends there, and I realized that they're also friends for life and not only for the competition. So I'm really close with Sissel from Denmark, Kyle from Norway, Miriana from Malta, and we're talking almost every day. And it was a great experience because they made sure that everyone's mental well-being was taken care of. So we had an area called the disconnected area, no phones, no cameras allowed, and our dressing rooms were there, so we could let loose and enjoy and be as crazy as we are. And it was nice to hang around with everybody.
And do you have a WhatsApp group with them?
Yeah, I do have a WhatsApp group. We're texting every day, and we also have an Instagram group with every Eurovision artist from this year.
If you hadn't won, who would you have liked to see take the trophy?
I would have,
yeah.
Wow, that's I already know immediately. I would have loved Sissel from Denmark to win because I'm obsessed with Europop. I really love Europop, and her song was so Europop coded. It's my number one most listened to song on Spotify. So I would have loved to see her win. Yes, I'm literally her biggest fan.
What do you think of a Spanish entry?
I really loved Melody. Her performance was crazy. I mean, dancing, performing, and singing, perfectly the entire time is insane. And she always had the same energy going into the performance. And every Spanish entry that's been sent every year has been, had a great performance because Spanish people are, born performers. It's amazing. And I loved Melody. Yeah, she was great.
Maybe we don't get good positions, but we make party.
Yes, you made a huge party and a huge impact. Everyone was literally screaming when she was on stage. Yeah. It was amazing.
And we are in the Pride Month.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you if you get inspired by any queer artists for your music.
I in my music, it's mainly about me as a person, who I am. So I take every part of me into this journey. So let's say my queerness or my Filipino heritage or the Austrian heritage, the rich musical culture. So I take every little part of me into everything that I do, and so I'm very glad that I get to represent every little community that I'm a part of.
And what song must be in your Pride Month?
That's a good question. I'd probably say Just Dance by Lady Gaga. I really love her so much, and that song is my favorite song. Yeah.
You mentioned that in Eurovision, in the final, you almost sneaked a LGBT flag, but were caught. What's your opinion on this ban?
Yeah, they beforehand communicated all of the rules before we even went to Basilea. So they made sure that everyone knew what was going on, what was going to happen, and so then I just realized, rules have to be followed, rules have to be obeyed, and the audience was allowed to bring every flag. Yeah. And so we could tell that the crowd was proudly waving all of their flags, which made me very happy. And then you could tell that everyone has a place at Eurovision, and that was the most beautiful thing.
And how do you see the future of Eurovision? Do you think politics is harming the Eurovision image?
Obviously, in a huge event like this, there's always another factor that is being, taken into account. But Eurovision, at the end of the day, is it's just music. It's about art, and it's about just expressing yourself and being, your true self in your artistry. And that's what it should continue to be. And just to enjoy the moment. We have so much beautiful music being created by so many countries every year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how next year's show will be. It will definitely be amazing.
In your own future, what plans do you have in music? Are you working on your first album or on a tour?
Yes. So I'm definitely gonna be letting Wasted Love have its deserved hype. We're also releasing a remix of the song very soon, so I'm very excited about that. And if everything works well, towards the end of the summer, a new song will be coming out, which I'm looking very much forward to. And then I'll be releasing an EP and hopefully going on tour as well. I would love to come to Spain, so
perfect.
We'll try and get that done.
We'll be there.
Yes, please.
Will you continue performing at the Vienna State Opera?
For now, I already told him that I will not have enough time because, an opera production takes up a lot of your time. So I have to be there at least, for 2 months to prepare for an entire show. So I unfortunately don't have much time for that, but I'm looking very much forward to continuing this pop career because that's what I've always wanted as a kid. I'm an ocean of love and you're scared of water. You don't want to go under, so you let me go under.
Tus éxitos de hoy
y tus favoritas de siempre.